Welcome to the latest Motley Fool scoreboard. I'm on in Chalkable, and we've got longtime fools Jason Hall and Dan Caplinger giving a 1 to 10 rating to Moneyball Rec, Williams-Sonoma, ticker symbol WSM. Rate the strength of Williams-Sonoma's business first, including factors like industry and competition. 10's invincible, a 1 is hopeless. Both of you have 8s, Dan.
Yeah, people really want to make their houses and apartments feel like home. And home furnishings are a big part of that. Williams-Sonoma has been able to come out with multiple brands that attack different angles of that home furnishings market and keep shoppers coming back for more. You've got the namesake Williams-Sonoma brand, but you also have Pottery Barn, well-known, some lesser-known but still popular store concepts like West Elm, Rejuvenation, and Mark & Graham. It just shows the breadth that this company has in reaching out to consumers of all kinds to try to give them exactly what they want to make them feel comfortable at their homes.
So this is one of the best retailers that you could own. It's in my top 3. Just so excellent at the important hard parts of retailing, like logistics, knowing what inventory you need in your stores, being where your customers are. That's both online and in person, with the right format, with the right go-to-market strategy, and just knowing how to win. And it's hard to do it across generations. And they have done that really, really extraordinarily well. And in the bucket that they operate in, they've been able to take share, because one of the things they've done smartly is not just try to win on price, but be really appealing to customers that almost always have discretionary funds. And that's how you get a business that performs across the cycles as well as it has.
For management, a 10 is Warren Buffett, a 1 is Homer Simpson. Both of you have 9s here, Dan.
Yeah, Laura Alber, just an outstanding CEO, been CEO since 2010. Her story's amazing. If you don't know it, go out there and search, find out, see the biography where it goes through how she helped develop the Pottery Barn kids concept into a full-blown real-life success story as she was rising through the ranks. Since she's taken the leadership mantle, she's just been highly effective, taken the company forward, has taken advantage of periods of economic growth in the 20-teens, managed to get through the COVID-19 pandemic in good shape. Just an all-around strong executive leader who's done a really amazing job making Williams-Sonoma what it is today.
So 2 points I want to make. One, we'll talk more about in financials, and that is that a lot of retailers that have grown as much as Williams-Sonoma has over the past 15 years, their debt pile has grown a lot as well, as they've levered up in low interest rates to grow their store base. We haven't seen that so much there. The other thing is that it's not often we have a tenured CEO at a retailer who's not also the board chair. I think it takes both a lot of self-awareness and a really strong corporate culture for a business to have those roles divided sometimes. And you have a really good, deeply experienced chair at Williams-Sonoma, and I think that serves this business really well.
For financials, a 10 is a fortress, a 1 is yikes. Both of you have 7s, Dan.
Yeah, kind of a step down from the higher scores that I've been giving further up. And that's just a matter of some of the economic challenges that we've seen lately. Growth has largely stalled out. The debt has been significant. It's still manageable. 7's a good score. It's just that I think that this particular business, home furnishings, are one of those things that may be the first thing you sacrifice during times of macroeconomic trouble. That is something I think that the company's exposure to may be something that is a mark against it.
Yeah, I agree with Dan on that last comment, but I do think to a certain extent they're shielded from that because of their go-to-market strategy.
Yeah.
I was tempted to go a little bit higher here, but the reality is the growth is slowing, but here's the counter. Margins continue to improve even with slowing growth. You talked about the balance sheet. I think that within a couple of years, there's a very good chance that because cash is just steadily piling up, the company is going to be net cash before long. So the balance sheet is going to go from fine to more and more of a position of strength, which should serve it really well when we inevitably do go through those economic tough times.
All right, Jason. Let's talk about valuation. How well will Williams-Sonoma stock do over the next 5 years? How safe is it? 10's a sure thing, 1's a lottery ticket.
Yeah, I think 5 to 10% returns, probably roughly in line with the market. The growth is slowing. The business has become far more mature. The avenues that it can pursue to continue growing are lesser. But I do think from a safety score, it's relatively safe, especially for a retailer. So my score there is 7. It's proven enduring across different trends. And I think the valuation does give us a little bit of protection against losses and underperformance. I'm not convinced that this is still a market beater.
Yeah, I generally agree. My safety score a little bit lower. I'm just a little bit more concerned about what we're seeing, changing employment trends. You know, it used to be that when we saw spiking unemployment, that it often came on the backs of blue-collar workers. Now I think we're seeing more threats to white-collar jobs. Those white-collar folks, I think, are probably more prone to be the ones spending money on home furnishings at Williams-Sonoma and its store concepts. That, I think, is a bigger threat than it has been in past economic times of concern. But stock has a very reasonable valuation at this point, and so I think that there's more safety there and more potential for market matching or even slightly beating returns, even despite some of those macroeconomic factors that are hitting the stock.
Thank you to both Dan and to Jason. They've given Williams-Sonoma an overall score of 7.1 out of 10. For Toppets, Dan prefers RH, formerly Restoration Hardware, for more upside potential, despite the higher risk, but Jason has no Toppets. Look out for a new scoreboard every market day at 7 p.m. Eastern. Next up is Globant. Till then, full on.